Good day, everyone. Unfortunately, we couldn't join in person, but we still want to tell the story of Hoppy, our digital colleague, today. So let's dive into this really nice topic and start with introducing ourselves. So my name is Pim Sandé. I'm the Global Business Intelligence Lead. Worked more than 7 years at Heineken and more than 10 years in BI and AI area. And today I'm presenting together with Joanna.
Good afternoon. Welcome to our session. My name is Joanna Hoho. I'm a part of Heineken Hoppy project almost from the very beginning, working as a functional consultant, product owner for one of our pillars, being part of development team, stakeholder discussions, and happy to share with you our story, our experience, and our problems as well.
Let's start with where we started actually. So the whole concept of Hoppy started as almost every good idea in a bar, where we sat and like thought like, hey, how cool would it be if we could have a device and just ask like how much Heineken silver did we sell yesterday? And with this idea, we came back in the office and we kind of started the project. But before we did that, we starting with interviewing also GMs, general managers, and other colleagues on C-level to see what the actual need is if you develop such a tool, maybe not only for asking volumes or how much we sold, but also doing more of things with GenAI technology. What is quite interesting is that we have a couple of interesting insight of these interviews we had with our C-level colleagues. And actually, 5 points I want to share today. So one is that we maybe you will as well in many companies we see you have scattered data and platforms. So data sits in different reports or in different platforms underneath. And for someone, let's say from level MT -1, it's not always straightforward where to find this kind of information. So in case we could solve this with GenAI, then it will be really, really relevant for a lot of people. The second one, what was brought up, is the language barrier you sometimes have. So a lot of our process documents, standard operating procedures, are in English. But we see if you dive deeper into the organization, is that, and as we operate in many countries, is that not everyone knows English that well to fully understand what is documented there and how a process works. So if you could translate this to a local language, I think that's something that GenAI is really good in. That will bring a big benefit. So this is one of the things that was highlighted. The third was remote assistance. As we operate in many countries and many of our breweries, for example, are in quite remote areas. It would be amazing if we could have like 24-hour support for the people that are working there. Like a colleague that is never tired. So with this idea, we also took in consideration. And the fourth one is self-service. So it's a bit related to number one. But we said, like many people said, like especially finance directors, like I or sales directors, like if I start or on Sunday evening, sometimes I want to do some analysis. So how we're the week before was done and how what kind of key insights I could get. But I don't want to go to my business analyst. I just want to do it myself, so I don't need to bother the team with it, so they can focus on other things. But I want to do the analysis really straightforward and not without a lot of reports and digging up data, doing things in Excel. So if I can just ask some question and some tool do the analysis for me, that would be a dream. So there's also one of the points we took in consideration. The last one, event-driven alerts, that also is related a bit to this area. It's like, hey, say like now we're just opening or tools or solutions or reports to see what happened, but actually we want to be informed with that. So not like opening and then seeing what happened, but like key pre alerts when things are happening, so I can immediately act. And with that, there were actually more things related to that.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Pim, for sharing that background history. I think that transit us nicely into the moment that we can introduce you to Hoppy. So stay focused and let's give a Hoppy option to introduce herself.
Hi there, my name is Hoppy. You might recognize me from that awesome trailer you saw. I'm Heineken's newest AI assistant, dedicated to help you to make it hoppen. You can interact with me just like with ChatGPT. I learn with every interaction and will be supported by my fellow chatbots in next phases. To become the best connected brewer, we need the best processes and tools. The digital backbone will integrate a lot of your processes and data. And I am the tool you need to unlock all the insights. No matter what your role, country, or job is, I can help you do things easier, faster, and more efficiently. I can help you crack open bottled up data. I also have an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. Sometimes processes get stuck. But luckily, I can help things move along smoothly to ensure the right information reaches the right people. Curious about how I can help you? Join the Hoppy group on Workplace. Don't worry, be hoppy.
Did you like it? What do you think? Let us know on a chat your opinion. And two highlights which I would like to make at this moment. That video as a marketing material was shared and published across different streams in our organization 2 years back. 2 years back, when our development was still in the initial stage and we did not have any product yet to be deployed to our user group, still we had marketing materials. Sounds like crazy, right? Looking now back retrospectively, that was a one key thing that helped us to build this very strong brand and recognition within our organization. And in fact, that was a door opener to different departments to start the discussion about new use cases and option to integrate Hoppy into different operational processes. That's one thing. The second is that was a base to build the Hoppy personality. Hoppy as a female presenting, talking to our users, was stated as a friendly colleague that is able to support, assist you in your daily processes operation with this kind of typical Heineken style, like a bottle opener that is popping up and in a friendly manner just help you to unlock your things that are for some reasons blocked. And with this one, with the aspect of the personality, we also shaped our bot persona. And with that as well, we are running evaluations to make sure that that interaction with our end users is consistent, is still bringing that kind of sense of personality into life. With that, let us move and introduce to the way how we organize our work.
See what you probably maybe also saw in the video, based on the interviews, we focused on three pillars. So one is knowledge management, where we built an index with all kind of documents. We have in Heineken, some of them sitting on SharePoint, KPI definition that come from Colibra. We have other tools, Signifio, where commerce data is on, and many more. With that, we have the second pillar, chat with your data, where we allow users to chat with data that sits in Power BI, Azure, but also in SAP B2P, so platform. And what is pretty cool is that we're using the knowledge index always when we fire a question or SQL statement towards chat with your data. So in case a user uses an abbreviation or names a program where then certain operating companies are part of, then we first translate this to a SQL statement where we mention, for example, the OpCo names or legal entities, or say the abbreviation in full. So also the let's say the database knows to what kind of data it needs to look for, the SQL statement, and that is actually working really well. We see almost an accuracy with JTG data of more than 95%. The third pillar is orchestration. And also we call accelerated processes, where we try to speed up things. So, for example, our process orchestration platform is part of that, what we're building today, but also, for example, ServiceNow integration. So if you want to create a ticket, Oppie will first try to answer based on the knowledge she has. And in case it doesn't work, it will understand she will need to create a ticket and then direct you to ServiceNow, to the right group to create the ticket in. And I think that's really powerful. But next to the three pillars, we have more than where we focus on.
Okay, so pillars are also the way how we organize our use cases. On the top of that, we have couple of key functionalities and features that we want to deliver. Those features are cross pillars, and let me just guide you through one by one and highlight some important aspects. So first, trusted and secure. With Hoppy, we provide access to ERP system to data. It's highly important that we replicate the permission and we do not unlock information to people that should not be able to see some sensitive sales information. Second aspect here is about the knowledge. Of course, with Hoppy, we try to focus on global processes, policies available in Heineken, but also there are some localization in the documentation that we want to also bring into the Hoppy, but at the same time, only allow to see that content for a restricted group of users. Next one, knowledge aware. Of course, as Hoppy is for all our employees, business is changing. We need to secure that Hoppy constantly revalidate, or we revalidate the knowledge endpoints and constantly bring some new content there. But in that aspect, there is an additional layer that we want to try to secure. It's how we react in situations where Hoppy is not able to serve the answer. Instead of saying, I cannot help you, end of the story, we are trying to find a way to guide the user where they are actually able to go and get the answer as they need. If that is a fallback to SharePoint, if that is a fallback to other internal specialized agents, these are the alternative that we are trying to here aggregate under this functionality. Next one is personalization. Here it's a different aspect than just pure context of historical conversations, is that we want to provide information as per single user needs. In Heineken, we connect or we enable Hoppy in different countries for different departments and different positions. It means that if someone logs in from Mexico, they may require or expect a different answer to the question how to create an invoice. We need to know information about user to be able to customize that answer before showing. This is about building that information about our customer, making sure that we include all the necessary information into the prompt before really returning back with the answer to our customer. Next one is for being insight driven. This is one key thing that Pim has also mentioned with relation to chat with your data. Not only giving the information on what is the concrete number sales volume, but also provide that research agent functionality that will be able to guide us through possible root cause and possible corrective actions. Important to drive that change for the business and help them to make some decision with support from our Hoppy. The last two, proactivity and action orientation, is about Hopi being able to come to user, so like that we have an option to send notification to our customers, plus give them the option to take the action from that chat perspective. Those last three are the biggest, have the biggest impact for running our business and actually helping our customers to make the change how they work and bring that biggest value for our use cases. Let's have a look on how we structure all that in terms of the backend and the architecture.
We start here our journey with the user. So now OP is integrated in Microsoft Teams, but also on the web app. And we work on a mobile app as well. And of course, you can open Microsoft Teams also on your mobile. So what happens there if the user starts the conversation? It will connect to our bot framework, where we also have data of the user in, so we know from which location the user is chatting and what the role of the user is. That helps also with the orchestrator part. So if we start the orchestration, so where in case a user asks a question, the question will always go via the knowledge index that we shared earlier, because to enrich the question potentially. And then it will direct it to one of the agents to execute and chat with your data question to Azure or to SAP. Or for example, it will direct you to the orchestration platform or to ServiceNow. And I think the most interesting part is that indeed based on the location we can direct really users to their own part. And what is also really important is that the security. So users can only see the data they have access to in knowledge or on the data part or in ServiceNow. So this is fully secured and managed.
Okay, so with that very quick look on how the response from Hopi looks like. I think that it's quite standardized, but still let me spot some important things for us as Heineken employees. So we have a process question answer from our knowledge repository. We do have link location with sources where we make a reference to our internal processes. This is super important in terms of people that want to use Hopi to start working on some task in systems that they can take the fact that here we have a reference to the document as a source of the truth that this is Heineken based procedure, not hallucination content created by GenAI. We do have as well proposed follow-up questions, which are amazingly important and beneficial for new joiners just starting and wrapping up some basic information about processes. Engaging follow-up plus redirection to internal other chatbots or this is also the location for the fallback to SharePoint. That redirection to internal IT ticketing tool will be replaced very shortly with an option to create a ticket directly from our Hopi. With current interaction, we are providing answer in Teams, but that's the current situation. We are working on the bigger picture. If Pim, you can share the vision.
So indeed, what we see, so like I shared it, we have Teams as one of the integrations, but we cannot do all the cases in Teams. Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes we'll show a graph, not what is possible, but we have many cases potentially for Hopi. So that's why we started designing a more website, like a platform where users can interact with Hopi, and also to get familiar them to all the cases we have, because as more we implement, the more difficult it actually is to show these to the users. Of course, we will inform them on work FIFO or workplace that we have, but still, then it's hard for users to try. So with this portal, we actually share all the cases of use cases available for the user grouped in per function. So for HR, these are the cases. For sales and marketing, these are the ones. For finance, you have access to this. And also we will, and that's something we're now working on, also connect to the user's agenda so we know a bit of what is happening, and also can share relevant sources to prepare you, for example, your meeting with all the external sources we have. Plus, to really like a bit of gamification, as you can see maybe on the left, it's like the beer glass where we show how much percentage of the platform the user explored or how many use cases it tested. And there you can also win some prizes for to really like drive this user interaction. Yeah.
Okay. So with Portal, with Teams, and with how we actually organize to deliver to our customers, let's talk about our user personas. We, in fact, enable Hoppy for all Heineken employees across the globe. There is no restriction for any countries or regions. But in fact, what we have realized is that we need to focus on some specific use cases, user personas with our dedicated use cases to make sure that we are able to monitor, track, and make sure that we deliver something concrete. This is why we have selected 4 main user personas, which are all operational functions. And then that brings the biggest value in terms of our knowledge resources, in terms of our data connections. At the same time, but also still, we need to make sure that we customize the different use cases, and we also understand very specific problems that we want to solve for these user personas. Of course, consequently, that means that there will be different success criteria for each use case that we need to look from the different perspective. And if we are talking, or if I have started already talking about the value and success metrics, that's the topic that we are focusing at the moment with the high priority. In fact, if we look on things that we have delivered so far, which are live in the production, effectively used by our users, it's the knowledge plus access to data. All the aspect with actions, insights is quite new. So it's still hard to estimate what is the game changer here, what is the value that we already brought to the customer. Things which are well settled are knowledge and access to information. And from for these use cases, of course, we did revalidate how we are changing the process, how much time we are saving for single user, how many steps we can skip in the process if we redirect users to start using Hoppy. But in fact, if we look about the gain for the organization, it's mostly the personal productivity and the aspect of users just learning new things. And from our perspective, it's not anything that is that we can monetize in a very straightforward way. The biggest difference, like value for the organization, also in terms of the savings, will come from actionable items that we are currently working on. We have a couple of use cases that are in the test phase, roadmap for more, but that's something that at the moment we cannot share with you. At the moment, our highlight is that, in fact, 50% of our users say that they learn new things with a use of Hoppy. We thought that we may bring also a topic of how is it to work in the environment of AI projects. It's slightly different, or different in a sense that it triggers to different approach. We have 3 observations which we want to share with you. So first thing is that due to the fact that market is evolving, changing, upgrading, scaling constantly, that means that your project may be forced for migration. Migration will be required to make sure that you deliver as per requirements, that you are able to scale, or just do things in a quicker or better way. We have gone through free migration in the past 2 years, and definitely it's clear for us that this kind of possibility for another migration is open. Of course, migration also means that you need to dedicate minimum one developer for 3 months period of time, which has an impact on other projects, which has an impact of option to deliver some other priority topics, use cases. Second thing is that with that changes on the market, the use case which sounded super exciting, covering the niche, that was not available through any vendor, and you started to focus and work on it. From the moment that you start working on and you deliver, it's already becoming a standard package of the vendor portfolio. And with that, of course, your project, your use case is slightly losing on its value. But that's something that is happening. We observe it also happened for us in some use cases. The third aspect is the way of the working. With all the changes, with all differences, different approach to use cases, it forces also the way we organize team activity. We need to be more flexible to switch prioritization, replan, and shift our focus. With this, or to accomplish this, the way that we started to do is that definitely we spent more time of POCs, spikes, and we switched into 1 week of sprint. That in natural way gives us that option of redirecting the focus. So far it works nice, but the very beginning of 1 week sprint was like hell, like just running and rushing all the time. Good. With that kind of look on way we are working, we are actually closing towards the end of our session. Summarizing, we as Hoppy team, we are focusing on delivering the truly impactful digital colleague experience. That's our vision. That vision compiles providing a whole ecosystem with AI, data, knowledge, workflows, ultimately to deliver not only the single user productivity, but also to make sure that we help to drive decisions, we help to make the changes, actions from our Hoppy perspective. And an example of that truly impactful digital colleague is what Pim will show us as a last closing slide.
Yeah, you sold a bit maybe in the architecture and the portal, but indeed, what we want to achieve by the end of next year is really this end-to-end full integrated platform. So in this sense, you start your day with on your mobile phone, with on your iPhone, for example, or Android, where we push the business headlines, and you can see the KPI highlights of that day coming from our chat with you chat with you data part, and also the top 3 priorities. For example, coming from process orchestration, so you can already know what will be where you will be focusing on. Then we go to the daily stand-up, where Hoppy as an avatar, or maybe as in teams, can share the sales review, including deep research, what we currently are enabling. So it also can highlight anomalies or proposed actions based on that. Then later that day, you can ask, or potentially Hoppy will just push shipment delays and also can create already an email for you to the supplier to escalate. But really important is that we always want to keep the human in the loop, so we will not action anything without a user decision. I think that is a part of our rules that we have, and that's something we also will implement here. In the background, potentially can already like complete 90% of your work. It doesn't have any escalation or any important flags. But in case there is an exception, then indeed OP will ping, for example, the right person for sign off or to check on what to do. And at the end of the day, we want to have, and there's something we already have in actually live, but it's a podcast feature where we can summarize the data of that day, or indeed for chat with your data, so the volumes and sales revenue numbers for that particular day, and you can just listen and consume the data in a podcast way. But I think is really nice option to have.
Good. Yeah. That would be the end of our story with Heineken Hoppy. Let us know what you think. Let us know your questions. We are available. And enjoy Summit.
Right. Bye.
Bye.